everybody? Blue Suit Reviews, brand new video. So this video is part 2 of the What's Inside HellCat video. So if you haven't seen video number 1, please go check that out. Video number 1 has basically as much as I could explain about the engine bay of my 2015 Dodge Challenger HellCat. I just kind of go through some of the stuff that you can actually see from the top. So yeah, if you haven't seen that video, please go check it out. It gives like a scratch the surface explanation of what you'll find in the original HellCat, the 2015 HellCat, the first year that the HellCat was released. And it kind of give you an idea of what you're getting into. So this is video number 2. This is part 2 of the What's Inside My HellCat. In the first video, in order to keep the video short, I didn't talk about the inside of the car at all. But in this video, I'm going to. So I'm sitting inside my car. I have my rate key right here in the cup holder. And I am going to tell you about this car. Specifically this car. The things that I show you in this car are not blanketed across all 2015 HellCats in the Challenger model. They're definitely, I felt like Dodge and FCA did a good job of making like different options, especially in the realm of being able to go to the dealership and kind of order what you want inside a HellCat, or basically almost any Dodge vehicle. As you look, you'll notice that this car does not have a sunroof, but sunroof in a HellCat is definitely an option. I think that the sunroof is like a $5,000 or $6,000 option, or at least it was back in 2015. The car that I bought, I had to make a sacrifice, so I actually had to sacrifice my sunroof. If you go back and watch some original videos, my SRT, or not my SRT, my Scat Pack, my Dodge Challenger Scat Pack did have a sunroof in it, but this car does not. So out with the sunroof, in with the 2.3 liter blower that's on the top of the engine, and I can't get a good shot at it, but trust me, it's there. As we're sitting here, you notice you can't really see anything until I turn the car on. And the first thing you notice when you turn the car on is that HellCat splash emblem, and then you see a message telling you how to turn the car on. Alright, so I want to talk about the gauge cluster. So the gauge cluster, something that is specific to the SRT models, for sure the HellCat. Not totally sure about the SRT 392, but the gauge cluster itself is red. And I'm going to open the door briefly so you can see that the gauge cluster is red. It's a nice deep red. I kind of wish that deep red were in other accents across the car, but it's not. But that's okay, because I really do like those red gauges. And I'm going to shut the door so we can turn that dinging off. But as we look in the cluster, this is basic across the Challengers, and I believe the Chargers as well. Inside the gauge cluster, it's stacked. There are 9 pages in here. So you got your speedometer, and if I go the right direction, 2 is vehicle info, and then 3 is performance. And inside performance, there are sub-pages. So from left to right, you got your 0-60 timer, you got your 0-100 timer, you got your 8-mile timer, you got your quarter-mile timer, you have your braking distance, you have your G-force meter, your current G-force meter, your peak G-force meter, your lap timer, your lap history, top speed recorded. That was at the drag strip. If anybody asked, that's at the drag strip. And as you go, well, that was the last sub-page. But if you keep going, 4 is your fuel economy. There's sub-pages in here. So 1 is is your average miles per hour, or at least not your miles per hour, your average miles per gallon and your current miles per gallon. And then it also shows you your range. And other the other gauge shows you, looks like just the range. I don't know, I don't really play too much in this because it's a Dodge Challenger Hellcat, and I didn't buy it to get great MPG, and I don't, because I'm always like smashing on the gas. So I'm not even gonna talk about that. All right, if we keep going, 5 is trip info. Never pay attention to this because I don't really take long trips. If you're able to see that, right now I have 9,668 miles on it. This is a weekend car for me. It's not a daily driver, which I'm privileged to be able to have a Hellcat as a weekend car. So this is actually something that I take out on the weekends with myself and my sons, and with my wife if she wants to go anywhere. I do have a daily driver. If you look right through the opening of the hood, that's Solomon Grande, or at least I've affectionately named it Solomon Grande because it's heavy and it drives like a bus. But I still love it because it has a Hemi engine in it, and that thing is super powerful. Alright, if we keep going, the next page is your audio page. I really don't even know what this is for. I don't mess with this at all, but it's there. We keep going, you have your messages. So I think that this tells you, I don't even know if I've ever seen anything in here. I don't know if those messages are for your phone when you get a text message, or if it's actually like a printout from your CEL messages. Don't really know. Never really dealt with that a whole lot. Page 8 is your screen setup. So if you go inside here, you can actually, if you notice that red light in the top over there, you can actually change what you see. It's limited, but you could change some of the screen options around. I'm not going to change anything around because I got it the way I like it. And page 9 is Diagnostic. So this for sure will show you CEL codes. I know that when people make modifications to these cars, specifically like the Leg Maker cold air intake and the B Woody cold air intake, for some reason those intakes on the Hellcats throw codes. And this will also show you anything that's wrong with the car. What you do is you take the code and you can either Google the code, or you could use a diagnostic device to read what the code is trying to tell you about your car. So really cool that it has onboard diagnostics, which most cars from I think the year 2000 up have that. All right, so enough with this. Like again, this is standard to Dodge and FCA vehicles. But over here, what I want to do is, and I'm going to open it. Well, let's just turn these lights on. Boom, perfect. All right, what I want you to pay attention to is the SRT and the launch button. The reason why I want you to pay attention to these two buttons is because those two buttons are specific to the SRT model vehicle. So you're not gonna find that in your non-SRT models. All of the rest of this stuff is standard. Right in here in the middle, you have your hazard button, you have your back button for the infotainment system. If you go into a page, you just hit the back button to go backwards. You have your traction control button, which you should be very friendly with that. And I will go over why in a different video. I might even do a video just for that button. You have your parking sensor button there. At the bottom, you have your AC control buttons. That knob to the left is your volume. This knob to the right is your browse and tune button. And if you notice right here in the middle, I have a transmission controller. That's what I call a transmission controller. So that is my gear shift, because this is an M6. This is a manual Hellcat, which is not something you're gonna see a whole lot of. But I I got one and I love it. All right, back to the system. Across the bottom, this is about as basic as you're gonna get because it's a 2015. The newer model cars in general have a way better software setup inside here. I don't know that Dodge could have did better in 2015. I kind of felt like this was pretty good for that year, especially for a car that's not made to have a lot of electronic options. Like this is to really basically do basic stuff. So if you go across the bottom, you got your radio, you got your media control, which that is whatever external media device that you wanna plug into the car or Bluetooth to the car. That is your seat controls, and if you go in there, the seats are heated and vented, as well as the steering wheel is heated. The steering wheel is wrapped in Alcantara leather, and it's perforated, so you can get the heat through to your hands. And what I think is cool that my Scat Pack did not have, it's a flat bottom. All right, in the middle you got the Super Race Technology, the SRT logo, which is also something the Scat Pack didn't have. It actually said Dodge right here, or Challenger right here in the middle of the steering wheel in the Scat Pack. So as you go back to this, the next application, or the next thing that you can select is the apps. There's not much in there because this is an older model with old software. Your climate control, your navigation button, which I never use that because my phone's navigation is actually more accurate and more powerful, and your actual Bluetooth phone connection. Alright, so if I go, again, we're paying attention to the SRT pages, and as I press the button, it tells me that the car actually has to be in run to access them. So I'm going to turn the car to run, and as we look at the screen, the only thing that's going to be different that I know of between the SRT 392s and the actual HellCats is your screens, your SRT screen, at least your first screen, each screen that you go to, your power available is going to be 700 plus, and that's the only thing that's different. If you look there, there's a little warning label that says, or a caution label that says level currently unable to change. One of the reasons why that's like that is because I don't have a black key. I only had a red key. When I bought this car, I got 2 red keys, no black key. I asked what happened to the black key, nobody knew. But since I don't think I'll ever valet this car, while I have it, I got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I don't think they're gonna drive it. It's not a big deal for me. So I got keys, I got the car, so that works. Another thing that I want to pay attention to is not so much these selections across the top, even though because you can find this in your Scat Packs right now. So your 2018, 19, 2020 Scat Packs have all of these options pretty much. The only thing that those cars don't have is the blower helping you achieve 700 horsepower at the crank. So, and I really appreciate Dodge for blending these options because these are great options. Being able to control your suspension, control your mapping, your setup, and all that kind of stuff like that. It kind of gives people that own these cars the ability to do some tuning. Like you can do some tuning on the fly. And you don't have to like pull your ECU out and like send it to a tuner or throw a Diablo tune on it or stuff like that. And you can get some different options. So that is really cool. Thank you, Dodge, for allowing that. But the thing that is definitely different that I'm not totally sure that the newer Scat Pack models have, and I'm not even really sure if the SRT model have it, is the launch button. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing, if I press the launch button, which I'm already in the SRT pages, if I press that launch button, it goes immediately to the SRT pages and then into So when you press the launch button, it actually immediately takes you into race options, into the launch control screen. So right now what we're looking at is the launch control screen, and this is your RPM gauge, and you can set, and the launch control is on. So as long as you got activate launch mode on, you can set your launch RPM over here to the right. And for me, what I think is a cool addition is I have a shift light. So in the background, you can see that it's just kind of like a blank black background. Well, this entire background lights up, as well as the gauge cluster when it's time for me to shift. And again, that's a cool option when I'm going down the drag strip, because I have tunnel vision, or at least I try to have tunnel vision. I try to look just down the track, and I try to have my peripheral looking at whoever I'm racing against, either whether they're on this side or that side or whatever side they're on. Like I have my main priority is to make it down the track as safely as I can, but I do, a competitive spirit and nature has me want to see where my competition is. But the shift light allows me to use both side and bottom peripheral vision to know when to shift, so I don't have to look at anything. I mean, I can kind of feel when to shift anyway, but having the light definitely helps, because the shift light can be set at certain RPMs. So I think that's cool. All right, so as we look at the rest of the car, you're not gonna see much that's different between this and the new Scat Pack models and the same year model SRT 392s. What I did notice about this that's different from the Scat Pack that I had is these plastic pieces have a design in them that is kind of unique. A lot of this other stuff that you see in here that is red is stuff that I've installed myself, because I'm trying to customize the car to my liking, and because the car has those big red Brembo brake calipers on it, it was very easy to start making customizations with red accents everywhere. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I basically have red accents throughout the entire car, trying to tie the red and black theme together. As we look around the car, suede, Alcantara suede, perforated suede, and leather seats, which I love them. Like, I love them. The HellCats do have, like, the fully loaded HellCats come with, I believe, a sunroof and all leather seats. I actually like the Alcantara suede and leather mix. Like, I like the way it feels, and I love the contrast. So when you look at the seats, you can see the contrast between where you sit and the bolster that has the leather on it. It's just me. And the other thing about leather is, after a while, if you don't take care of it properly, which this car was already pretty old when I bought it, the leather starts to crack and it starts to look really unsightly. And if not cared for properly after a longer time, the leather really starts to split, and it probably could turn into some pretty costly repairs, like trying to get an upholsterer or upholstery shop to fix that stuff back together. I've heard about people spending thousands of dollars on their interior. I'm not trying to spend that. I kind of just want the interior to be how it is. So I use my leather wipes, and I try to keep the leather as conditioned as I can, because I don't want to go through that. Anyway, that's it for this video. This is the Dodge Challenger HellCat, 2015 Dodge Challenger HellCat. Options inside are basically the same as the Charger and the Challenger HellCat as far as the infotainment goes. This is the Dodge Uconnect system. It is not different than any Dodge Uconnect system you have seen before. The only difference is this is old in comparison to what you will see right now. If you like what you see, please hit the like button, share the video, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below. please stay safe out there. As the time that I'm making this video, the COVID pandemic is still a factor. I know that things are open now, especially spaces where people are in close proximity to each other, but you still want to stay safe. Make sure you're washing your hands, make sure you're sanitizing. Big shout out to all the first responders and all the frontline personnel who are out there making sure that we can survive during this pandemic. Without you guys, for sure, the country would be in a lot worse spot and be suffering a whole lot more. Anyway, again, I appreciate you tuning in to the video. Blue Suit Reviews.